Hello and welcome to my video about the Anglo-Normans. In this video, we'll be exploring the fascinating history of the Normans. The Anglo-Normans, a group of Viking descendants who settled in the north of France in the 10th century and eventually conquered England in 1066. We'll be looking at their impact on English language, culture, architecture, and policies, and examining the legacy they left behind. So, without further ado, let's dive into the fascinating world of the Anglo-Normans. As I said, the Anglo-Normans were a group of Normans who invaded England in 1066 and established a new ruling class. They were led by William the Conqueror, who defeated the Anglo-Saxon king Harald Godwinson in the Battle of Hastings. The Anglo-Normans brought with them a distinctive culture and new social and political order which had a lasting impact on English society. The Anglo-Norman period saw the construction of many castles and cathedrals which were built in the Romanesque style. The Normans also introduced a feudal system in which land was divided among lords who owed loyalty to the king. This system brought about a new social hierarchy, with the king at the top, followed by the barons, knights, and peasants. The Anglo-Normans also introduced a new language, Norman French, which became the language of the ruling class and the legal system. This language had a significant influence on the development of the English language, with many French words becoming part of the English vocabulary. Here are some interesting and mysterious facts about Anglo-Normans. Normans were originally Vikings who settled in northern France and were known for their fierce warrior and skilled cavalry. The Normans were originally Vikings who came from what is now Scandinavia, particularly from Denmark, Norway, and Sweden. They were known to the Franks, the native people of France, as Northmen or Norsemen, which eventually became Normans. The Vikings were seafaring warriors who raided and settled in various parts of Europe from the late 8th to the mid-11th centuries. They were known for their long ships, which allowed them to travel long distances across open seas and rivers quickly. The Vikings were a diverse group of people who speak a variety of languages and had different cultures, but they all shared a common heritage and way of life. The Vikings who settled in what is now Normandy, France, were led by a Viking chief named Rollo, who in 911 CE negotiated a treaty with the Frankish king Charles the Simple. This treaty granted Rollo and his people the land that would become Normandy in exchange for their protection against other Viking raiders. Rollo and his followers gradually assimilated into the local Frankish culture, adopting the French language and customs, and eventually become known as the Normans. The Norman culture was a blend of a Scandinavian, French, and Frankish elements. They retained some aspects of their Viking heritage, such as their seafaring and military prowess, but also adopted many aspects of the French culture, including the feudal system and French language and Christianity. About the William the Conqueror who defeated Anglo-Saxons, he was not originally named William. He was born as a William the Bastard because his parents were not married. William was born in Falaise, Normandy, in 1028. He was the illegitimate son of Barbet I, Duke of Normandy, and his mistress Herleva. In 1066, William invaded England, claiming the English throne as his own. He defeated the English army at the Battle of the Hastings on October 14, 1066, and was crowned King of England on Christmas Day the same year. William's reign was marked by significant changes to the English government and society. He introduced a feudal system in which nobles held land in exchange for military service to the king. He also commissioned the Domesday Book, a survey of the land and people of England. William faced numerous rebellions during his reign, including one led by his own son Robert in 1077. He also faced a major rebellion in northern England in 1069 to 1070, known as the Harrying of the North, which resulted in the deaths of 10,000 of people. William died on September 9, 1087, following the injuries sustained during a battle in France. He was buried in Caen, Normandy. William's legacy includes the Norman conquest of England, which had a significant impact on English language, culture, and society. His descendants would go on to rule England for centuries, and his conquest of England is considered a turning point in English history. The Bayeux Tapestry, which depicts the events leading up to the Norman conquest, is an incredible piece of artwork that is over 900 years old. It is also shrouded in mystery, as its origin and purpose are still debated by historians. Its origin and purpose are not entirely clear. The tapestry's symbolism and meaning are subject to debate. While the tapestry is a visual narrative of the events leading up to the Norman conquest, its symbolism and message are not clear. Some historians interpret the tapestry as a celebration of the William the Conqueror's victory, while others see it as a cautionary tale about the perils of war. The tapestry's survival and preservation are remarkable. The tapestry is over 900 years old, and its survival through the centuries is remarkable. It has been moved several times and was nearly destroyed during the French Revolution. It has also undergone numerous restorations and repairs over the years. The Norman conquest was not a peaceful affair. It was a brutal and bloody conflict that led to the deaths of many Englishmen. The Battle of Hastings alone is believed to have claimed the lives of thousands. The Normans were known for their love of hunting and introduced many new hunting techniques to England. They also established many royal forests, which were used for hunting and timber. The Anglo-Normans were great builders, and their legacy can still be seen in many castles and cathedrals throughout England. Some of the most famous examples include the Tower of London, Durham Cathedral, and Windsor Castle. The Normans were also great innovators and introduced many new technologies to England, including the longbow, which would later become a staple of English warfare. The Anglo-Normans had a complex relationship with the church, and many of their leaders were deeply religious. They also introduced many new religious orders to England, including the Cistercians and the Augustinians. The Anglo-Normans were great traders and established many new trade routes throughout Europe. They also introduced new products to England, including wine and spices. The Norman conquest had a profound impact on English culture, and many aspects of modern English life can be traced back to the Anglo-Norman period. For example, the English language adopted many French words during this time, which are still in use today. Now, let's talk about a few of the most notable kings of the Anglo-Normans. First one is William the Conqueror, as I said. William, Duke of Normandy, invaded England in 1066 and defeated King Harold at the Battle of Hastings. He then established himself as a king of England and ruled from 1066 until his death in 1087. Second one is Henry II. Henry was the first of the Plantagenet kings that ruled from 1154 until 1189. He was a powerful and effective monarch who established a legal system of England and expanded the power of the monarchy. The third one is Richard I. Richard, as also known as Richard the Lionheart, ruled from 1189 until his death in 1199. He was a renowned warrior and led the Third Crusade. The fourth one is John. John, the younger brother of Richard, ruled from 1199 until his death in 1216. He is remembered for his unpopular policies and the signing of the Magna Carta, which limited the power of the monarchy. The fifth one is Henry V. Henry ruled from 1430 until his death in 1422. He is remembered for his military victories in the 100 Years' War, including the Battle of Agincourt. About the Crusades, many Anglo-Norman kings participated in the Crusades. which were a series of religious wars fought in the Holy Land. While the Crusades were seen as a noble cause at the time, they also led to significant violence and destruction both in the Holy Land and in Europe. I will talk more about these Crusade wars at my next videos in this YouTube channel. The treatment of women in the Anglo-Norman period. While there were notable women who wielded significant power and influence during the Anglo-Norman period, women in general had limited rights and opportunities. They were largely excluded from political power and were expected to fulfill traditional gender roles as wives and mothers. That's it for our exploration of the Anglo-Normans. We've covered a lot of ground and learned about their fascinating story, from their Viking roots to their conquest of England and their lasting impact on the country. We've seen how they left their mark on English language, culture, architecture, and politics, and how their legacy continues to influence us today. I hope you've enjoyed this video and learned something new about the Anglo-Normans. If you did, please hit the like button and consider subscribing to my channel for more videos like this. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!